Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody that's in the room. If you guys can hear me okay, give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, then give me a thumbs down or an angry face, and we're going to get into it. All right. I'm going to shout out everybody that's in the building early. All right. We got Denise Scales in the house, B1. Shout out to Denise. We got Carlton Way in the building. We got Antithesis in the house, B1. Shout out to you. We got Greets up in here. We got DC Precise in the building. Shout out to AB Promotions. We got Harlem 2099. Shout out to you. We got Brooklyn Queen 125 in the building. We got Emmanuel Carey. What's good with it, bro? We got Lloyd Sky 9 in the house. Shout out to Caldona. All right. It's good to see everybody. All right. And we got Black Spider. Shout out to Black Spider. What's good with you? So we're going to get into this outrage alert. All right. So I don't know how many people are subscribed to Blacklight Revelations news, reviews, and reactions, but Outrage Alert is a little segment that I do on that channel, but I'm bringing it over here. And the reason why I'm bringing it over here is because with this particular one, we got way too much craziness to talk about. First and foremost, I want to apologize to y'all that I didn't get that Undocumented Bros stream done yesterday. It kind of took, I edited 2 clips and I posted them, and it took me a little bit longer to edit those clips than I thought it would. So I'm going to try, if I can, to get that done tonight. We got Reacts at 3 o'clock. So if y'all are not subscribed to Reacts, make sure that y'all subscribe. All y'all got to do is just watch the video all the way through to the end, and it'll take you to Reacts. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is this. How many people heard about this? I touched on it briefly yesterday while I was live, but we're going to actually check out this article about this. Aurora police officer not guilty on all charges in Elijah McClain's death. Let me ask y'all this, man. How long are people going to continue to feel that at some point this quote unquote criminals justice system is going to deliver justice? So my question is, with all of the evidence that we have that shows that the criminals justice system is never going to deliver justice, how do we navigate in that environment? That's the question. All right. So now here it says an Adams County jury, and I'm curious about if this jury was a jury of the peers or not, decided on Monday that Aurora police officer Nathan Woodyard is not guilty on all charges in connection with the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. So now here's my question: if he's not guilty of the of charges when it comes to the death of Elijah McClain, what were any of these people doing? What were they doing that night? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to my man AB Promotion with the $1.99 super chat. Is the value chain in effect? The value chain is in full effect. Speaking of the value chain in effect, man, I got a new All Money Ain't Good Money coming as soon as I get time to throw it up. You know what I'm saying? Like rest in peace Tupac. As soon as I get a chance to toss it up on the YouTube, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so make sure y'all show AB Promotion some love. You know what I'm saying? Jurors deliberated beginning early Friday afternoon, and the verdict was reached shortly before 2:45 p.m. on Monday. Woodyard, who was the first officer to stop McClain on the night of August 24th of 2019 as he walked home from a convenience store, faced charges of criminally negligent homicide. A lesser included charge to the manslaughter count, which means jury could have chosen to convict him of one or the other, but not both. Okay, but they didn't convict him of anything. I gotta agree, Carlton. If you guys agree with Carlton, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Carlton says, based off the data, I doubt things will change unless black people are put into an extreme situation of fight or flight. I gotta agree. And my question is, how close are we to that situation? Shout out to Shamika. What's good with it, Shamika? How close are we to that situation? At what point does that situation become the actual situation? When do we go from T-1 to event X? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if you ask me, we're like on the verge of an existential issue popping off. It's just a matter of time. And I mean, wait till y'all see some of the rest of this nonsense. And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 24 people watching. If everybody could smash that like button and hit the bell and get us over 20, or I'm sorry, yeah, get us over 20 likes and share the stream to your social media, that'd be great. So now it says he was found not guilty of both. Okay. The Aurora Police Department posted a statement on the social media platform X saying exactly the same thing following the verdicts of the first two officers to go to trial. As previously stated, I know many have been waiting a long time for the involved parties to have his day in court. Chief Art Acevedo said in a statement, as a nation, we must be committed to the rule of law. So now again, what rule of law? Let me ask you guys a question. Anytime you hear anybody mention this quote unquote rule of law, what is the rule of law? The rule of law is what somebody else said the law is. And who said what the law is? Let me ask you guys a question. Who has authority to create laws that control you? People that control influence and assets. No more, no less. Nothing more. There's nobody that has any kind of power that gives them superhuman abilities to be able to determine what the laws of humanity should be. And I got to agree with AB Promotions. AB Promotions says WS is the law. If y'all agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. As such, we hold the American judicial process in high regard. We respect the verdict handed down by the jury and thank the members of the jury for their thoughtful deliberation and service. Due to the additional pending trial, the Aurora Police Department is precluded from further comment at this time. Woodyard and two other officers, Randy Rodima and Jason Rosenblatt, had responded to a 911 call by a teenager who reported McClain looked suspicious because the caller spotted him wearing a face mask and waving his arms. McClain often wore a mask to keep him warm and was listening to music, prosecutors said. Woodyard said he heard Rodima say McClain tried to grab Rosenblatt's gun, so he used a neck hold on McClain that temporarily restricts oxygen to a person's brain and can cause brief unconsciousness. About 18 minutes after the struggle began, a paramedic called to the scene injected McClain with about 500 milligrams of ketamine, a sedative. He stopped breathing and went into cardiac arrest shortly after. So now, again, mind you, he wasn't, first of all, he wasn't doing anything to begin with. Shout out to John Guillory. Shout out to Torian Rain. What's good with it, bro? A doctor pronounced him brain dead 3 days later. So now let me ask you guys a question. Based on this chain of events that we just read, what caused him to be brain dead? What caused him to be brain dead, y'all? McClain's mother, Shanine McClain, cried after the verdict was read. Senior Assistant Attorney General Jason Slothbauer, the lead prosecutor, hugged her with a stoic expression. McClain left the courtroom with her fist raised to the photographers in the hallway. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If we have hit squads trying to delete us all the time, why haven't we formed counter hit squads? I want y'all to pay very close attention to this, and I want people to start listening to this. Look at all of this stuff going on around the world. Let me ask y'all, in all of these countries that are unstable, besides United States intervention, why are the places unstable? Why are all of these different locations in the world unstable? Now, let me ask you guys this. When it comes to our history in the United States, in most cases, we've dealt with a worse circumstance than most of these people who have civil unrest in the countries where they live at. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And yet and still, we haven't taken any military action against the perpetrators of these atrocities against us. Yet the perpetrators of these atrocities against us commit military action against us every day. Every day. And then laugh about it. Joke about it on social media. Get paid administrative leave. Look everywhere else. Stuff is exploding all over the place. Army tanks in the street. Businesses shut down. Entire regions not able to be used because of civil unrest. Yet and still, these people want to sit there and act like there's some type of issue. Now, I don't know if you guys saw, but if I'm still live, you guys might have to check out the replay. But there's a clip from Crimecast that is actually going to play on BLR 1. Okay? There's a clip from Crimecast and it's going to premiere on BLR 1. This clip on Crimecast talks about some very interesting prison scenarios in different countries. We don't even have a prison scenarios like that going on here. So now here's my question. When is that kind of stuff going to start? Because if you ask me, it should. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, it's late. How many parents going to lose their kids? How many families going to lose their loved ones? You know what I'm saying? And then some alleged rule of law is going to determine the value of your loved one. Some quote unquote rule of law, the same rule of law that said that it was okay for these particular people to enslave you, because it's the same rule of law. It's the same law. Let me ask you guys a question. The same law that said that Elijah McClain shouldn't have anybody punished for his death. That's the same law that said it was okay for certain people to engage in a slave trade, chattel slavery, and land seizure here in the United States. Would y'all agree with that statement? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. That is the same law that we expect to give us verdicts. Same law that we expect to provide justice. Expectation of that law to provide anything other than harm, abuse, and death, to me, is naive. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Torian. Torian says, I have a question. Why do you think it hasn't started? Lack of power, lack of resources, lack of willpower, lack of fight. It could possibly be a combination of all of those things, Torian. I can't quite say, you know what I'm saying? But I think one reason is that I honestly don't think that at this point, many people feel that there's anything wrong with the way that the world is today. I think that a lot of people subconsciously don't realize that they actually believe in this false natural order of things. They feel that this is the way that it's supposed to be. We're supposed to follow these laws. Says who? Says some other person. They try to make these laws in the court as if that's one of the reasons why I have the issues with religion that I have. They try to make these laws as if some type of divine entity is enforcing them. Well, if a divine entity is enforcing them, enforce them. The only people enforcing these laws are the people that wrote them. And they're not divine by any means. You know what I'm saying? So what I think it is that I think that many people have bought into the idea that this is the way that it's supposed to be. A lot of very simple stuff seems very complicated when it comes to people, and it's stuff that's contrary to the natural order of the way that we observe the world. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Tia. Tia says, lack of being able to protect each other. Once we establish that we can protect those that defend us, then we will be more in tune with applying the same actions to them. And me personally, I think that I believe that that's a mind game that people have to overcome, because you don't have to win every war. You just have to make it inconvenient for people to mess with you. So this idea that anytime anybody messes with us, we just have to have this overwhelming, crushing response, that would be nice, but that's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? That's not always the case. But if you make the response where it's a severe inconvenience and it burns up a lot of resources and a lot of time and a lot of reconstruction is necessary after those issues take place, you know what I'm saying? Then I think that I think that once people realize that, then they'll be more likely to take action. You know what I'm saying? We are able to protect each other. We are able to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? It's just sometimes people don't believe that in their own minds. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to RJ Quick. RJ Quick says Romans 13:11. Let every soul be subject unto higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be ordained of God. Now, here go my thing. RJ, we had a long discussion about religion, right? So you already know my stance on religion. So there's no need for me to go there. However, one thing that I can agree with you on is that the people that wrote these laws that said that it's okay to delete Elijah McClain, those aren't the people that are talking about, those aren't the same entity as that God that you're quoting the book of Romans saying that that's the higher power, right? You know what I'm saying? So respect to the people that do believe in a higher power, right? I don't believe in a higher power. But one thing that me and the people that do believe in a higher power can agree on is that the higher power is not sitting on no damn bench in the court telling us whether we had a right to live or die. You know what I'm saying? And now this is something that's accurate. And shout out to Shabazz. What's good with it, bro? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's got the earth? You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Sybil. What's good with it, Sybil? Torian says, anytime they mention the quote unquote bastardization of woke, that means we have made them uncomfortable. Absolutely. Woke basically means white accountability or population at large accountability or quote unquote the truth or simply black history. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So, and speaking of woke, man, I'm Torian. Just wait, you gonna be like, man, what? She declined to comment to a group of reporters outside the courthouse. Respect my boundaries that I am speaking, she said, echoing what her son told Woodyard when the officer first grabbed him. I'm disappointed, but it's to be expected because of how the first trial went. This is their pattern. This is their practice, and they are sticking to the way that they do things, McClain later told News 9, the Denver Gazette's news partner. I wanted to hit somebody today, she added. I wanted to kick something. I wanted to take out my vengeance on the ones that murdered my son because there is no accountability within the justice system. And today proves it once again. And I agree. Let me ask you guys a question. What kind of villainy arc does that create? Shout out to Torian. I'm about to use Torian's phrasing here. What kind of villainy arc does that create when a mother loses her son and everybody is told that it's just okay? What does that do to a person? And shout out to everybody that's watching. If y'all haven't hit the like button yet, please take a moment. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, if you guys have not shared the stream, please make sure you guys share the stream. And yeah, I gotta agree. If y'all agree with Torian, this is the beginning of her villainy arc. Give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely the beginning of her villainy arc. Woodyard stayed sitting in the courtroom for several minutes after Judge Mark Warner excused him. He did not appear to look at Shanine McClain. We are respectful of the process in what is a very difficult case, Woodyard's attorney, Megan Downing and Andrew Ho of Reich Cornfield said in a statement to the Denver Gazette. We have never disregarded the tragic circumstances, but we are relieved for what we believe is the just outcome for our client. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Based on the facts of the case, based on everything that's been made public to us that's available, how is this a just outcome for the client? I'm going to tell you how it's a just outcome for the client. Because by the rule, I'm sorry to hear that, RJ. Damn, man. That's terrible, man. Don't, man, listen, man. Shout out to Black Lightning. I hate to hear stuff like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why something's got to be done. That's why something's got to be done. If you guys agree that something's got to be done for cases like Elijah McClain and cases like RJ's dad, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. See, this is the thing though, bro. It's not all good. You know what I'm saying? And people need to start understanding that it's not all good. And yeah, I agree. Something will be done. Big facts. You know what I'm saying? That's terrible. And these are the same people that sit there and talk about fatherlessness. Like it's funny. See, this is all a big joke until it's not. Shout out to Win Loser Rug. What's good with you, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is justice for this police officer because in this system of injustice, people like that police officer are the ones that are always supposed to get the favorable end of things. That's what justice is. Justice for people in this particular system that we live in is them always getting the favorable end of things. Starting with men first on their end. You know what I'm saying? That's why there's no survival under any of this. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree, RJ. You know what I'm saying? And we got you too. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Woodyard has been suspended without pay since the case first was brought against him more than 2 years ago. Aurora's city charter says that the suspension of a civil service employee charged with a felony comes to an end with back pay for the period of the suspension if the employee returns to work as soon as the decision of the court becomes final. So this dude about to get a lump sum payout from all of his retro pay, and more than likely he'll be able to go back to work. When asked whether that means Woodyard is eligible to return to service immediately or whether the suspension remains until any potential appeal by the state finished, city spokesperson Ryan Luby wrote in an email, "We do not have precise answers yet on each next step, but the charter requirements are what must guide those steps. We expect it to take a few days to sort through." Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser said his office is disappointed with the verdict, but that he respects the jury's decision. He declined to answer questions, citing the pending trial of two paramedics facing charges for McClain's death. So now let me ask you guys this question. What do you all think? What do you all think the outcome of the trial for the paramedics is going to be? And make sure you guys show some love. Shout out to T Mac who just subscribed. Throw some radiation emoji in the chat. We knew these were going to be difficult cases to prosecute, Wisner said in a statement. In the pursuit of justice and to honor the grand jury's decision, we committed to take these cases to trial. Today's verdict is not the one we hoped for, but we respect the jury system and accept this outcome. I thank the jurors for serving and performing their civic duty. He added, we remain undeterred in our pursuit of accountability and justice for Elijah McClain and his family and friends. I'm thinking of Shaneen McClain, who has fought hard to keep her son's memory alive. No mother should go through what she has. We must all do what we can to stop the unlawful and unnecessary use of force that can result in people dying at the hands of law enforcement. So, I mean, how many times we going to hear about this, these changes that they're supposed to be making with law enforcement? Let me ask y'all this question. How many of y'all have seen the videos that I made called The Laws? If you guys saw those videos, give me a thumbs up. If y'all didn't see them videos, give me a thumbs down. All of these laws and all of this law enforcement, they all sound the same all the time. Midian Holmes, a supporter of Shaneen McClain and the chief executive officer of the epitome of Black excellence and partnership, said she felt frustration, sadness, and exhaustion after Monday's verdict. But she said Shaneen wants to keep fighting to turn her pain into progress. While two of these people she believes are responsible for McClain's death have been acquitted, Holmes said they will always be associated with what happened. The one thing they cannot walk away from is that their names will be tied to this story, she said. The only problem is that in this society, what they did was just fulfilled the credentials to be looked at as Twitter heroes and social media heroes. You know what I'm saying? People are now looking at these people like they're heroes. And they look at these people like they're heroes because harming one of us is what makes you a saint in this sick society, which is one of the reasons why without controlling society, it's difficult to survive in this society under somebody else's control, especially somebody else's control who draws their power off of how they are able to have unrestricted ability to harm other people. You know what I'm saying? In closing arguments last week, Slothbauer argued four key choices made by Woodyard that caused McClain's death. Immediately escalating the encounter, using a carotid hold that kicked off a series of McClain struggling to breathe and vomiting, not treating McClain's cries that he could not breathe as a medical emergency, and his complicity in allowing McClain to stay pinned on his stomach by other officers. A forensic pathologist testified for prosecutors that he believed that the carotid hold started a cycle of increased carbon dioxide buildup in McClain's blood as he struggled to breathe while pinned on the ground, causing him to vomit and inhale it into his lungs because he couldn't clear his airway. And they do this. These officers have a black belt in corruption, and they do this on purpose. You know what I'm saying? If you guys agree that these police officers have a black belt in corruption and that they do this on purpose, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree and y'all feel that they don't, then give me a thumbs down. Later, Woodyard violated his training by not making sure Aurora Fire paramedics knew about McClain's symptoms, including his struggles to breathe and vomiting in his mask, Slothbauer argued. So now here's my question. All of these violations and all of these breaches of duty, what was the punishment for any of this stuff? What kind of reprimand is Woodyard going to have for any of this kind of stuff? Yeah, I agree. I believe that 110%. Shout out to Lehman Lucas. What's good with it, bro? If you guys agree with Torian, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Torian said, do you think most cops are part of the quote-unquote they will not replace us sector? Yep. And I believe that before they turn their dispatch radios on, they cruising around the city listening to Charlie Kirk. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Woodyard's defense attorney repeatedly directed blame to the paramedics for their decision to inject McClain with ketamine without examining him. They also argued that when he heard Rodema say McClain had tried to grab Rosenblatt's gun, it didn't matter whether McClain actually did because Woodyard believed that it was true. Now, do they show him grabbing the gun on the body cam, or is that redacted and we can't see it? A key piece of evidence, as always, for the most part, redacted. Shout out to Mr. King. What's good with you, bro? Woodyard's defense attorneys have argued throughout the trial that the officer stepped away from the immediate struggle to speak with his supervising sergeant when she arrived at the scene, and thus wasn't responsible for McClain's violent subdual by other officers or the decision to inject ketamine. When Woodyard testified in his own defense last week, he said hearing his fellow officers say McClain had grabbed a gun made him fear for his life. Now, let me tell you guys something about this whole fear for their life thing. None of these people fear for their life in any situation. They don't fear any consequences. These people didn't even fear that they would face repercussions in court. Let's just get this fear for my life thing out of the way. None of these people fear anything for multiple reasons. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Let me know in the comment section. Why do none of these people fear for their lives? None of these people fear for their lives about any situation at all. None of these people fear anything. Now, my question for you guys is, why do they fear anything? So when it comes, we have to deal with these kind of situations in a different way. We have to deal with these kind of situations in a different way than what they're advertised to us as. They're telling us about this quote unquote fear for life to get us to try to somehow rationalize with this twisted reality that we live in. But when we untwist the reality, we know that there is no fear. Shout out to Kid Gravity. What's good with it, bro? Great stream that you did earlier, by the way. Shout out to Denise. Denise says, I'm white and I'm protected no matter what I do. Facts. Facts. Thus, there is no fear. They didn't fear court. They didn't fear Elijah McClain. They didn't fear anyone coming up and intervening in the public. They had all the weapons. They had a vehicle. They had tasers. They had guns. They had bullets. They had magazines. They had everything that was necessary. They had no fear. So now, like I say about the person in the elevator, right? If you want to act like you scared when you walk in the elevator with me, when that door closes, by the time you get off that elevator, you are going to be terrified. These people want to go around talking about how they fear for their life. If you're not going to tell the truth, we're going to make you tell the truth because people need to actually start having that legitimate fear. Until that happens, it's going to be jokes. It's going to be memes. It's going to be us doing YouTube videos like this while it's legal for us to do it. And you couldn't have said it any better, Caldona. No reason to fear what you control. Facts. DC Precise. Y'all killing it in the comment section. Backed by the county, state, fed, president. Every governing structure. What's there to fear? Now, I really like how you put that, DC Precise. Shout out to DC Precise. Now, mind you, right? You see what DC Precise is saying here. backed by the county, state, Fed, president, every governing structure. These are the same governing structures that people believe that if we participate in, somehow we will get something out of. If those structures are there to protect other people and protect other people based on how they harm us, my question for you guys is, what are we going to get out of those governing structures? I'm going to tell you what we're going to get out of them structures. We're going to get what Elijah McClain got out of them. We're going to get what Elijah McClain's mom got out of them. I think beyond the code of quote unquote behavior and engagement, I think people need to start considering a code of internal justice. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody's confused about what I mean by a quote unquote code of internal justice, we can chop it up in Discord about it. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, shout out to everybody that's watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please make sure you guys take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, make sure you guys hit the bell, and please share the stream to your social media. Yeah, we need to have our own, and we need to have our own quote unquote internal affairs department, because we know the one at the police department don't do anything. We know the one at the government doesn't do anything. When it comes to anything involving us, the only people that have ever gotten anything accomplished is us. We're the only ones capable of getting anything accomplished for ourselves. Everyone else is incompetent. They're either incompetent, negligent, or they have some type of animosity. So we need to start bypassing these people. There is no such thing as a human chain of command. Chain of command only exists at work, in the military, and in your family. That's it. When it comes to society at large, man, screw a chain of command. You know what I'm saying? Would you guys agree with that? If y'all agree, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Now, this officer here, Woodyard, he even admitted, it says, but he admitted he made mistakes when he escalated the situation and should have slowed down to talk to McClain when the officer first stopped him. So now he's even in court admitting, yeah, I kind of went about this the wrong way. But I mean, I'm alive and he's not, and I'm about to, get off because the court system is going to protect me. The jury of the trial of the first two officers acquitted Rosenblatt last month on charges of reckless manslaughter and second-degree assault. The jury convicted Rodema of the criminally negligent homicide and third-degree assault, which were lesser included charges. Okay. McClain's death gained widespread attention in the summer of 2020 after George Floyd's deletion by a Minneapolis police officer. The former district attorney for Adams County declined to file any charges, but Colorado Governor Jared Polis asked Wisner to give the case another look after nationwide protests over Floyd's deletion. Think about that, man. Before this governor decided to ask them to take another look, there wouldn't even have been a trial. There wouldn't have even been a trial. You know what I'm saying? So we about to check something else out. All right. Shout out to B1 first. What's good with it, bro? How many people heard about this particular situation right here? Because this is going to lead us into our next little thing here. Okay. Teen accused of planning a mass shooting at Colorado Springs High School pleads guilty. How many of y'all heard about that? How many of y'all heard about that? If y'all heard about this particular situation, then give me a thumbs up. If y'all did not hear about this particular situation, give me a thumb down. Why are we talking about this? Because this is the outrage alert. That's why. So everybody get outraged. Okay. There's your planned deleter. You guys notice anything about this individual? And I'm going to tell you something. It may be obvious to some people. It may not. But what do you all notice about this particular individual? You notice anything? Y'all got me dead in the comment section. Oh, just wait. Yeah. Everybody throw some radiation emojis in the chat for Brooklyn Queen. Legitimate. Yeah. Legitimate. Mm-hmm. Now, why is that important? Why is that important? I had to give myself a shameless plug for some watch hours. Why is that important? Oh, you'll have to watch the rest of the stream to find out. How you guys like that? ABC 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Lily Whitworth, previously referred to as William Whitworth, appeared virtually to Elbert County Court from jail on Monday and entered a guilty plea to one charge of second-degree assault, an amended charge added through a plea agreement. Whitworth originally faced several charges of first-degree deletion, of attempted first-degree deletion after deliberation, attempted first-degree deletion with extreme indifference, criminal mischief, menacing and interference with staff, faculty, or students of educational institutions. Though the plea agreement entered into on Monday, or through the plea agreement entered on Monday, Whitworth will only plead guilty to the amended charge of second-degree assault, and remaining charges will be dismissed. Now, what kind of plea agreement is that? So now, look, if this individual does something like this in the future, here's my question. Will anybody be surprised? If you would be surprised that anybody would try to do something like this in the future, give me a thumbs up. If you wouldn't be surprised, give me a thumbs down. They basically got rid of all of the charges. Look at that. I'm going to read it again. The 19-year-old accused of planning a mass shooting at schools in Colorado Springs pleaded guilty to one charge on Monday afternoon and now faces up to 16 years in prison. So they only pleaded guilty to one charge. Lily Whitworth, previously referred to as William Whitworth, appeared virtually to Elbert County Court from jail on Monday and entered a guilty plea to one charge of second-degree assault, an amended charge added through a plea agreement. So that's the only charge that this individual pled guilty to out of all that stuff that she was being charged for. You know what I'm saying? So here go the original charges. Whitworth originally faced several charges of attempted first-degree murder after deliberation, attempted first-degree murder with extreme indifference, criminal mischief, menacing and interference with staff, faculty, or students of educational institutions. They took all of that off and changed it to second-degree assault only. Now, here goes my question. Why? On what basis? Why did they do that? What's the justification for doing that? Is there a justification for doing that? Whitworth's attorney, Elizabeth Jones, informed the court that the sentencing range on the guilty plea would remain open to the court, meaning Whitworth could be sentenced to anywhere between 5 and 16 years in prison for pleading guilty. Now, let me ask you guys a question. If they were willing to drop all of those charges, like if they were willing to give that wild of a plea deal, do you think that she's going to end up, she is going to end up serving 5 to 16 years? That's my question for y'all. Shout out to my man Jay. What's good with it, bro? Whitworth is being held at the Elbert County Jail, where they reportedly indicated to an employee in April a continued plan to commit a mass shooting at a school in an Academy District 20. Whitworth was a student at 3 schools for a total of 9 months between 2014 and 2016. Okay. Whitworth, who is a transitioning female. So now here goes my question. What part of the prison are they going to put Whitworth in? Now, shout out to Tia, because Tia's actually on to something. See, Tia's on to the outrage. Because this is the outrage alert. You know what I'm saying? Tia's on to the outrage. Let me ask y'all this question. Do y'all agree with Tia? I actually agree. But don't agree just because I agree. You know what I'm saying? If you guys disagree, you feel free to disagree. You know what I'm saying? But I actually agree with that. Tia says they want to keep these Rainbow Mafia deleting stats low. Yeah. But watch and see what else they want to do. Just wait. Just wait for it. Yeah, like DC Precise says, dun, dun, dun. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Whitworth, who is transitioning to female, was arrested on March 31st and accused of planning a mass shooting when investigators found instructions on how to build homemade bombs and a whiteboard with floor plans for Timberview Middle School and Whitworth's bedroom, according to arrest records obtained by the Gazette. Let me ask y'all this question. Did it sound like this individual meant business? If it sounded like this individual meant business, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't sound like this individual meant business, give me a thumbs down and let me know what y'all think that it sounded like she meant. You know what I'm saying? Definitely meant business. So check this out. The affidavit states that Prairie Hills Elementary and Pine Creek High, both in Colorado Springs, were listed as targets in one of Whitworth's notebooks, which contained a detailed list of people to be deleted. Investigators did not find any weapons in the home, but found a liquid that is used to clean firearms. Now, let me ask you this. If you ask me, more than likely what that means is that this individual had firearms, and those firearms were probably stored somewhere else. Speaking of, man, I'm telling, I got so much content. I just don't be having time, man. I don't have time. But I'm telling you, so much stuff to talk about, man. So much stuff to talk about. Uh-oh. Deputies also found a manifesto with the names of mass shooters, political commentators, and more while searching Whitworth's home, according to the affidavit. A notebook was found with instructions on how to make firearms using a 3D printer and how to make homemade explosives. Let me ask you guys this question. How comfortable do you feel with a plea deal that reduces this individual's sentence? Do you all feel comfortable with an individual like this having a sentence reduction? Now, I'll tell you what, if she check this out. If she gets the right lawyer and the right doctor, she might mess around and finally get a period at the end of her sentence. Wah, wah, wah. Oh man, that's horrible comedy. You know what I'm saying? Borderline hate speech. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Whitworth admitted to watching a YouTube video on how to build a detonator, according to the affidavit. Man, that's scary. Man, that's ridiculous, DC Precise. Oh man, that's ridiculous, man. If she gets the right lawyer and the right doctor, she might mess around and get a period at the end of her sentence. Wah, wah, wah. Oh man. It's gonna be a long day today, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Oh man, that's terrible, man. They're gonna be coming after me, man. I gotta talk to Dave Chappelle, see if he can give me some of that protection. You know what I'm saying? So now it says Whitworth admitted to watching a YouTube video on how to build a detonator, according to the affidavit. Law enforcement originally responded to the home after Whitworth's sister reported Whitworth behaving violently and referring to school shooting. So what was Whitworth doing at home while behaving violently? I wonder what type of violent behavior they were engaged in. What do you think that they were doing at home being violent? Deputies found Whitworth lying in bed. Look at this. Uh-oh. Deputies found Whitworth lying in bed, drunk, in a room piled with trash that had several holes in walls, according to the affidavit. Wow. When authorities asked why Whitworth wanted to shoot up a school, Whitworth said no specific reason. Whitworth also admitted to being about a third of the way from doing it, the affidavit states. Whitworth, now again, what it sounds like, for one, is that this individual is unstable. Sounds like this individual is violent. And it sounds like this individual was like right on the edge of being about to do this. My question is, why did they give all these plea deals for these sentence reductions? Right. Right. Mr. King said, what YouTube is that? Building bomb detonators. I know, right? I would never, I don't even type no stuff like that into YouTube. They try to convict, like when it comes to crimes and going to court and stuff like that, with all of these the AI and all of the search bots and all this kind of stuff, they'll try to convict you just based on your search history. You know what I'm saying? Now, you want to know what's so funny? This is one of the reasons why I had the bots in the chats. Shout out to the bots, right? You remember how I told you guys that YouTube plays around with the numbers of my content? Y'all saw that there was somebody that subscribed during the stream, right? If y'all saw that, give me a thumbs up. Somebody subscribed to the channel during the stream. The bots notified. It said it. What it shows on the YouTube Creator Studio is that I lost a subscriber. So never trust these numbers on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Never trust the numbers on YouTube. So now here it says Whitworth is scheduled to be sentenced at a hearing on January 19th of 2024. Jones stated that she expects testimony to be given by witnesses for both the prosecution and defense at this sentencing, and that the hearing could last up to 3 hours. Now, let me ask y'all this question. Why is this not being covered by the mainstream media? What's you guys' thoughts on that? Why is this not something that's all over the headlines? You would think that it would be. Now, remember, this was a legitimate shooter. Somebody who is partially transitioning. Now, I want y'all to look at this article from the New York Post. This is a different situation, all right? This right here, this is a different situation. Nashville shooter Audrey Hale, alleged writing surfaces. And you see what she wrote up there. I'm not going to say it because you know YouTube will be on some nonsense. They said that right there. So now what's interesting about this, hey, this is a crazy picture of Trump right here. It looked like he got on one of those masks for exfoliation. Like somebody just took like a paintbrush with some mud and painted it on his face, man. Like that's crazy. But anyway, how many people heard about this Nashville shooter? If y'all heard about the Nashville shooter, give me a thumbs up. If y'all didn't hear about the Nashville shooter, give me a thumbs down. Now, let me ask y'all this question. This Nashville shooter made a racially charged remark in its writings. And this is what they said. It says some stuff about white people. So the New York Post and a lot of content creators on YouTube, what they're saying is that this is an anti-white hate crime. Now, what's fascinating about that? The fascinating thing about that is that when it comes to one of us, it's black on black crime. When it comes to them, it's an anti-white hate crime. Shout out to Solo T and shout out to MC. Does that make any sense? If that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If it makes absolutely zilch, zero, nada, none sense, give me a thumbs down. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to definitely get into it. So, alleged writings of Nashville mass deleter Audrey Hale have been released by conservative commentator Steven Crowder. Now, let's just talk about that in terms of the value chain. How the hell did Steven Crowder get access to this individual's writings? I want y'all to think about this. When it comes to our situations, like we can't get exclusive interviews with like George Floyd's family. You know what I'm saying? Ahmaud Arbery's family. Right? But somehow, goofball, failed marriage ass Steven Crowder somehow got access to these writings of this deleter. Think about that. Why is that the situation? They didn't give it to a news agency. They didn't give it to, a government official. They gave it to Steven Crowder. comedian. That's exactly what I said, Torian. Facts. How did Stephen New England Chowder get this? Facts. They well, you know. I wonder how much it took Stephen when he read the manifesto was about people such as himself. He fit the criteria to a T. Yeah, including he likes to put on dresses. You know what I'm saying? They gave it to him to shake him to his core. I wonder if Stephen wanted to cry when he read it. Probably. If y'all think he wanted to cry, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't think that he wanted to cry, give me a thumbs down. I just find it interesting that a regular content creator who YouTube is overly inflated to a massive amount of subscribers just had access to that. They have politicians and stuff like that on these people's shows all the time. And I'm telling you, man, all you got to do is just post 1 or 2 videos. Man, you got all the subscribers. They give you all the subscribers. Let me ask y'all this. How does that happen? And shout out to Denise for hitting that Nightbot. Look at it. I want y'all to pay attention to this now. Alleged writings of Nashville mass killer Audrey Hale have been released by conservative commentator Steve Crowder, which appear to reveal the shooter's anti-white hatred and nervous but resolute planning. Anti-white hate. This is now the shooter is a white person. The shooter is the white person. I thought white people used to consider that C word a compliment because it had to do with cracking a whip. And they thought that was some hot shit that was going on back in the day. I guess it's not anymore. You know what I'm saying? But by this exact same logic, right? And I gotta agree. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. AB Promotions says once we start dealing with only new black media, it's over. Facts. I agree. I need somebody to make this make sense for me, though. I really need somebody to make this make sense. The 3 handwritten pages were posted on Crowder's website, which asserted their legitimacy, saying they had been obtained by his Mug Club undercover investigative unit. Which means what? So you look, I want y'all to pay attention to this. You got the New York Post citing Steven Crowder's website as legitimate news information. Do y'all see how that works? Now, let me ask you guys this. Where do people take what we say and cite it as legitimate news media? Where does somebody say, well, this is how people feel about the migrant crisis in Chicago, and then embed a TD Hip Hop Media video into their article? See, the feature of embedding content, you guys ever seen that? How you can put the HTML code to embed videos? These mainstream news media outlets, the electronic media like the Washington Post and NBC and all of that, they embed the YouTube videos or clip the YouTube videos from content creators that share the same narrative as them in order to blow them up to a large amount of subscribers. Now, people that are not familiar with Steven Crowder, who read the New York Post, which a ton of people read the New York Post daily, will now be alerted to him and subscribe to his channel, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it is what it is. It's perfectly fine, right? But I want you to understand how they have a gag order on anything coming from us. Any of these outlets. When is the last time somebody I did see something somewhere where somebody had quote tweeted Professor Black Truth and embedded his quote tweet into a news article. But aside from that, that's the last time I saw it. That's one of the reasons why we got to get printed media too. And Blevity don't count. Blavity does not count. Blavity is Democrat shill nonsense. Torian said it's because he has a punchable face. We do not have punchable faces. Facts. So now here it says the Nashville Metropolitan Police Department, which led the investigation into the shooting, said it was aware of the documents and was investigating, but clarified in a statement, though the photographs are not MNPD crime scene images. All right. So now look, Hale, who is 28, who identified as a transgender, also went by the name Aiden, allegedly wrote in one of the missives, "Want to delete all you little saltines." All right. But now this is the only problem though. She's the same race. But they're calling this an anti-white hate crime. How is this an anti-white hate crime if you're white? Now here goes my question. So that means that as much as these white people complain about the N-word use and they try to link rap music to influencing the street, that means that anytime that there's an altercation between black people, quote unquote, the law should look at that as a hate crime because the N-word was used, right? But that's not what happens. They call it black on black crime. They're calling this anti-white, and this person here was white, is white, I should say. So my question is, how do you make those leaps in logic where because you have a particular gender, whatever you want to call it, you somehow supersede your race? By this logic? I mean, how does that work exactly? So I'm going to read this again. Hale, who was 28 years old, who identified as legitimate, it was a T, and also went by the name Aiden, allegedly wrote on one of the missives, "Want to kill all you little saltines." But she didn't say saltines. She said the C word. You know what I'm saying? Before deleting 3 children and 3 adults at the Covenant School, a Christian institution which Hale had once attended in March. So this individual Hale went to this school. You know what I'm saying? It is well known that Hale had produced a volume of writing before launching the attack. Now, let me ask you guys this: is anybody shocked or surprised by that? So did that one that we just read about in Colorado. There go Hale right there. See this? This is the person right here. This person right here said that they want to delete all the saltines. This person right here, and white people outraged about it, talking about it's a hate crime. This person right here said they want to delete the saltines. What y'all think about that? Bizarre. If you find this extremely bizarre and disturbing, give me a thumbs up. If you don't find it bizarre and disturbing, good for you. Give me a thumbs down. Yeah. So it says that police said that they found 20 journals, 5 laptops, and a suicide note, and various other notes written by Hale at the house he shared with his parents, as well as 2 minors, 5 Covenant school yearbooks, and 7 cell phones, according to a search warrant. So, I mean, I don't know what was going on there with all that stuff that was at the house. But that's pretty damn disturbing. This is them right here on the camera. Y'all see this right here? It is unclear which part of Hale's alleged writings were represented in the 3 images released by Crowder, but one of them is dated on the same day as the shooting, March 27th. Now, what people like Steven Crowder like to do is people like Steven Crowder like to present this. They'll show the part where the individual said whatever it was that he said about white people, and then not show that this individual is white to try to make outrage. Look at this. Look. That's the weapon that they had. So let me ask you guys this question. AB said, I'm trying to figure out if saltine is more disrespectful than the C word. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All I know is that saltine is a kind of food. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I know. And another thing that I know is that I didn't, as much as it upset Steven Crowder, I didn't say it. This individual who had planned on violently taking out a bunch of people did. You know what I'm saying? Dated February 3rd of 2023, just weeks before the shooting, one page takes aim at affluent children. Affluent children with white privilege. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, this individual qualifies as one of those. You know what I'm saying? You can't make it up, man. You can't make it up. You see this right here, right? Dated February 3rd of 2023, just weeks before the shooting, one page takes aim at affluent children with their white privileges. I want to again make it clear. It is this person right here that said that. Oh man, it's that person right there that said it. Okay. Look at this. This is what she wrote. Those C words going to private schools with those fancy khakis and sports backpacks, Hale allegedly wrote, with their daddy's Mustangs and convertibles. F you little S's. I wish to blank you weak ass D words with your mop yellow hair. Oh my. Oh my. You know what I'm saying? Now, let me ask you guys this. If you have situations like this and you have people like this attending these schools, do you all think that the more events like this that take place, it should take down the quality of it, should take down the price and the tuition of the school? I'm dead. Black Lightning said, damn, did the Most High took control of her without consent? Yo, look, bro, I don't know what was going on there. I can't tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? So now here says, Hale once attended the school she targeted, police said after the massacre. So now, mind you, this individual deleted a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Arriving cops shot him dead inside of the building. All right, so this individual is gone, dead. Okay. On a page titled, quote unquote, Death Day, decorated with a picture of a gun and doodles, Hale allegedly wrote that he was a little nervous, but excited too. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready, Hale wrote. God let my wrath take over my anxiety. I hope I have a high death count. Man, that's wild. But Black Lightning, you said something about the Most High taking over. You know what I'm saying? Torius said when I read that, I was flabbergasted. Yeah. That's what I said. Oh, wow. Well, you know what I'm saying? That's how you feel. Hale also indicated that the killings could have been prevented. There were several times I could have been caught, especially back in the summer of 2021, the page states. Look at this. They had a whole schedule on here. Another page outlines Hale's plan for the day of the attack in detail. 7 a.m., get dressed. No shot. No, now, mind you, not 6:50, 6:30 shower. That's not on there. Nothing on there about brushing teeth, putting on deodorant, just hopping out of bed and getting dressed. 7 a.m., 7:05 to 8:55. I don't know what was going on, but they were going to do something with stuffed animals and possessions. Then they're going to eat breakfast at home. You know what I'm saying? Weird ass list. So this is sad. You know what I'm saying? Students Evelyn Dykhouse, Haley Scruggs, and William Kinney, all 9 were shot dead, along with school custodian Mike Hill, substitute teacher Cynthia Peak, who was 61, and headmistress Catherine Kuntz, who was 60. So all these people went to school and went to work this day and had no idea that this would be the last time that they were alive on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? The Metro Nashville Police Department remains in possession and control of the full manifesto. So now here goes my question. How come they haven't released this manifesto yet? What do y'all think about that? Why didn't they release this manifesto yet? Shout out to Black Star Racer. What's good with it, bro? Why didn't they release this manifesto yet about this nonsense here going on? You know what I'm saying? The agency has also pledged a full probe into the alleged pages. In opposing a timely publicizing of Hale's writing, the agency has repeatedly argued that the papers are part of an ongoing investigation. Let me ask you this question, man. How much of everyday, like, how many ongoing investigations are actually ongoing? Like, every damn thing is a damn ongoing investigation. Do they ever do they ever solve any crimes? You know what I'm saying? So there's that, right? So now I saw this article from The Hill today that I thought was pretty interesting. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody that's watching. If you guys haven't smashed the like button, please make sure you guys smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell or subscribed wherever you're watching from, take a moment and do that. How many people knew that Maine senators are questioning the Army over the Robert Card mass deletion? If you guys knew about that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't, give me a thumbs down. Yeah, and that's facts. Shout out to Tia. Tia says those manifestos have been getting cops in trouble. Facts. And they've also, in some cases, been getting the FBI in trouble. They tracing stuff back, finding out that these people had law enforcement connections, were in contact with law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? So the senators in Maine are questioning the Army over interactions with Robert Card. Okay. Maine Senator Susan Collins and Angus King sent a letter to the U.S. Army Inspector General requesting a thorough investigation of how warning signs were missed about Robert Card, an Army reservist who deleted 18 people and injured 13 in Lewiston, Maine last month. So now I guarantee you that as we read through this article, a lot of these questions that we ask in regards to how this individual, quote unquote, fell through the cracks are a lot of the same questions that we were asking when this particular situation first took place. And I got to agree. If you guys agree with Alonda, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with Alonda, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Alonda, by the way. The reason why the manifesto was not released is because they are afraid of people like us dissecting it and deciphering it. Facts. I agree with that. If you ask me, they want to maintain the control over it. Where do people get this format? Let me ask you guys a question about this. Let's ask this question. I want everybody to put into the comment section all of the commonalities that they see when it comes to these mass deletions. Everything that you find in common. What are some of the things that most mass deletions have in common? And if you and if we generally agree on all of those things that these mass deletions have in common, what do you guys got? Brooklyn Queen says mental health, and shout out to Brooklyn Queen and Denise for hitting the Nightbot. What else? PC two parent home. Facts. Denise Scales. Black Lightning says AR-15. I'm going to give you guys a list. Similar targets, right? Usually a place where there's a lot of people at or a school, right? Tactical gear, tactical training, right? Usually from similar areas, suburbs. Usually engage in similar leisure activities, right? Online, gaming. Usually use similar social media, Twitch, Discord. So if we removed mass shooters as a subsegment of the population, and we looked at those individuals and all of the things that they have in common, is it safe to say that mass shooters and particular mass shooters have enough similarities, style of clothes that they wear, activities that they engage in, areas that they come from, and things that they do, like manifestos, to say that there is a culture associated with mass shootings. Is that safe to say? If that's safe to say, give me a thumbs up. If it's not safe to say, give me a thumbs down. Yeah. Facts, Yasu. Usually follow the same type of media. Facts. Yeah, I agree, Torian. They live their life in a real life Call of Duty game. Facts. And I got to agree with MC. A lot of it seems like incel culture. So now here's my question. If there's so many commonalities with these people that there's damn near a culture that we can associate this stuff with, how is it that when all these things occur, the mainstream media just says, well, you know, these are all isolated events. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Houseway. Houseway. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, Black Lightning. I feel that there's more to it than patterns too. But here's my thing. If there is a pattern, right, we can no longer say that these are not isolated events. And also, if there's a pattern, then these things can be detected and prevented, which means that the pattern is being purposely ignored so that they're not detected and prevented. Would you guys agree? You know what I'm saying? Something to think about. So now here it says the senators pressed Lieutenant General Donna Martin to launch a review of the incident to fully understand what happened and what could have been done differently to prevent Card from opening fire at a bowling alley and bar in Maine City. Now, we went over this thoroughly. Let me ask you guys a question. What are all of the things that were done wrong when it came to the Robert Card situation? Because there was a lot. They messed up really big with that Robert Card situation. He was already under mental evaluation and they let him free. You know what I'm saying? And the interesting thing about it is that in that particular case that we talked about earlier, the one in Colorado, the legitimate shooter in the legitimate potential shooter in Colorado, they gave that individual a generous plea deal. So if you're giving these people a generous plea deal, you're not really implementing a consequence, and you're not giving them a reason not to do these kind of things. Would you agree? So the thing is that they don't really want to stop any of this. You know what I'm saying? If they wanted to stop this, they would utilize other means, but they're not utilizing those other means. So what that says is that they don't really have a desire to stop any of this. They don't have a desire to change any of this. They want this to continue. This is an unofficial way of controlling the public. This is definitely an unofficial way to allow people to go up in black neighborhoods and do deletions as they please. We saw this with Peyton Gendron. We saw it in Jacksonville, Florida. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says nothing we can do will bring back the lost lives in this tragedy, but we can work together to help prevent future shootings. The senators wrote in the Friday letter. They asked the inspector general to investigate whether the Army followed proper procedures, whether any laws or regulations prevented officials from taking greater action, and if any reforms are underway, among other concerns. After the August 25th mass shooting, the deadliest in Maine's history, police launched a search that lasted 2 days before finding card deleted from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, another thing that I find interesting is that one thing that we could list as part of the criteria for this we're going to call it the MSC, the mass shooter culture. You know what I'm saying? And people that are part of the mass shooter culture in many cases self-delete. You know what I'm saying? Is that true? Is that true or false? And shout out to Alonda. Alonda said Jason Black actually did a program on his channel about how most WS mass shooters are active in red pill content. They tend to complain about not getting female attention. Yeah, and that leads to down the whole incel path. Now, here goes the thing, right? I wouldn't go as far as to say that all red pill content, quote unquote, is the cause of people behaving like this. But what I would say is that, like with anything, right? Like bleach, you know what I'm saying? If used properly, is a good cleaning to a good cleaning solution. But if you mix bleach with ammonia, it can create very poisonous, toxic gas. So digesting all of that red pill content while you're already sex deprived and you're an incel and you got no self-esteem and your life's not going anywhere and you live with your parents, not the best idea. You know what I'm saying? You're creating the internal environment of a pressure bomb that's probably gonna ignite at some point. But at the same time, though, yeah. Shout out to Black Star Racer. Yeah, if y'all in the Discord, y'all know what Black Star Racer talking about, and don't put it in the food. Facts. I thought that individual in that article was doing what Trump had said to do. You know what I'm saying? For C-19, you know, Trump had said Trump proudly looked on over the podium and said, "Drink bleach." You know what I'm saying? He just looked at everybody, you know what I'm saying, straightened the sports coat out and said, "Drink bleach." You know what I'm saying? All right. You know what I'm saying? Way worse. Yeah. So, red pill content, it definitely, it is what it is. In some cases, it can not be a good thing. In other cases, it can definitely be a helpful thing. But when you compile red pill content, like when you compile red pill content onto an already bad situation, it's just bad. And then when it comes to the white part of red pill and all of the racism and bell curve and Stephen Molyneux and Jared Taylor, uh, Jordan Peterson and all that, that's associated with that, then you have that potentiating the anti-blackness that comes with it. And even in a lot of black red pill, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of it depends. It's a lot of anti-blackness. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole gender war shit, which is a lot of anti-black shit to me, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? Torian said, when you get a chance, check your DM on X. You're gonna laugh so hard and shake your head at the same time. Hold on real quick. Do I got a window open with X? Damn. How many people, shout out to the content creators in here. Are there any content creators that use the Adobe Studio? If you use the Adobe Studio, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't use the Adobe Studio, give me a thumbs down. I used the Adobe Studio and I used Filmora, and the Adobe Studio just made a cool little plug-in where with the video editor, they have Epidemic Sounds built right into the studio editor. It's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Hold on real quick. Oh, I'm looking. Matter of fact, I'm looking at your original tweet on this right now. Zelensky looking for money on credit. If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us credit and we will give you back money. Man, that's wild, man. Man, that is wild. Oh man, shout out to Torian. Hold on, we about to take a quick commercial break. We about to look at the Ukrainian fundraiser here. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys agree with Alonda, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. I agree 100%. Let's listen to this dude right here.
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money.
Man, that's wild. Kid Gravity need to use this as a drop. Kid Gravity, you still in here? and shout out to my man Moxie Approved too. Moxie and Kid Gravity, y'all need to use these as drops. You know what I'm saying?
If you can't give us some financial support, okay, please give us a credit and we will give you back money.
Listen, man. Hey, listen, man. Shout out to Zelensky. Shout out to Vladimir Zelensky. Y'all may not like this man. You know what I'm saying? But he has just revolutionized how I'm about to start doing my YouTube. I'm about to take the whole different approach. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to start using the Azov methodology on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, to get more subscribers and to get more super chats and stuff like that. Please listen very close. If you don't smash the like button, please at least share the video. Please at least give a super chat. Please. Or a cash app. And I cash app you back in credit. the grifts, yeah. the Azov grift. Facts. I'm about to do the Griftzov battalion. Please. I do anything. Even 99 cents help. If you can't do that, you can at least smash the like. You can at least hit the bell. Make sure if you hit it once, it works. It works if you hit it once, but if you hit it twice is nice. Twice is nice. Oh man, shout out to Vladimir. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vladaqueer. You know what I'm saying? Definitely help us out. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. Oh man. Dorian said, if you give money, you get ride on carpet made of magic for the free scarf. Yeah, if you give money, you get ride on carpet made of magic for the free scarf. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. That is funny. Damn, that's funny, man. Black Star Racer said, dude sound like African scammers. What I tell y'all, man? What I tell y'all about Russia? I always say this shit about Russia. Russia is the Africa of white people. You know what I'm saying? That is white people's motherland. You know what I'm saying? They having their own diaspora wars. It just, when they do that shit, it should be radioactive for like 20 years afterwards. You know what I'm saying? See, that's another thing. Shout out to black people, man. Even if, you know what I'm saying, you one of them people that's non-FBA and you got problems and you just talking crazy, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you have no kocha. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't leave shit radioactive. We have roast battles. They actually roast sectors of the planet when they get into battles. But then they want to sit up here and talk about criminality when it comes to us. You know what I'm saying? Look at what's going on in Israel. You know what I'm saying? Israel versus Hamas. They are actually actively roasting human beings over there, between them two groups of people over there. We get on social media, start roasting, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we just, you know, we talking shit. Ain't nobody actually getting burnt, though. You know what I'm saying? But they want to talk crazy about us. You know what I'm saying? Ours ends with this. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you have no kocha. You in a kata. You do not know where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You got toenails that look like cat claws and some damn Jesus sandals. You know what I'm saying? Strap on, pull your sandals up by the bootstraps and fix your homeland. End of discussion. Then we live to the next day. You know what I'm saying? Then we move on with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, not these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers start building all kinds of bombs and shit. You know what I'm saying? That is gonna blow up neighboring countries that aren't even involved in the shit. You just be sitting at the house chilling, about to serve some oatmeal. You about to serve some oatmeal to your family, and next thing you know, there's a nuclear shockwave and the windows just blow out. Like, what happened? That's how they get down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Shout out to my man Tarek. Tarek said we got 56 likes right now. Make sure y'all smash that like button. If y'all haven't liked it yet, make sure y'all hit that bell. Man, that's funny, man. So now here it says Card was a sergeant first class in the U.S. Army Reserves and had a history of mental illness and troubling behavior before carrying out the mass deletion. So now here goes my question. If everybody knew this, again, how did it fall through the cracks? Looking like Sonic ran past the house, bro, with all the rings that came out. And the trees bent over. You know what's crazy about the trees? The trees bent over like what's that thing called when you bend down? You know what I'm saying? When you bend over backwards and try to walk under the pole, under that, you know, they put the pole down there horizontal, and you try to bend your back down and walk under it. The trees doing that because the wind blowing so damn hard and shit. What's that called, man? They be doing it in Hawaii where they had like the limbo. The trees doing the damn limbo and shit because the wind blowing so hard, like a cartoon and shit. They bend all the way over where the leaves them bent over and arched and hit the ground and shit. And then when the nuclear explosion stopped, the tree spring back up like on a like on a cartoon. Y'all ever seen those cartoons, like the old black and white cartoons? Them Disney cartoons, when the wind start blowing, the trees bend all the way over doing the limbo, and then they come back, they snap back. Very common dance in the black community. Oh man, that's hilarious, man. The limbo, you know what I'm saying? The Kimbo, doing the Kimbo. Shout out to Tia. She said they doing the Kimbo slice. You know what I'm saying? How you cut them fruits up for that drink? I did the Kimbo slice. Oh man, y'all terrible, man. Rest in peace to Kimbo Slice. That was my man. Shout out to Kimbo Slice, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it says the senator expressed concern that several warning signs appear to have been overlooked. Now, let's just do a little bit of reality orientation here. Does it appear that they were overlooked, or did they actually get overlooked? Nah, I didn't know Kimbo Slice. I followed Kimbo Slice since the Backyard Fight days. Then I followed him when he was on I was actually hoping he had a good successful career in MMA. You know what I'm saying? I really I liked Kimbo, you know what I'm saying? I was a fan, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't the best MMA fighter, but dude had swag, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude has swag. He used to do it. Shout out Kimbo. Kimbo was one of the people that made YouTube hot too back in the day. How many people that been around, that been alive for a long time, actually used to look up Kimbo Slice fights on YouTube? Listen, man, Kimbo Slice, all them videos that started out with what they don't want you to know, and NYCKZ. Oh, you mad because they styling on them? Those videos made YouTube and fight videos. Oh, you mad because I'm styling on you, man? How many times did people watch that video? Kimbo was Butterbean in the UFC ring, though. Oh man, he had all kinds of fights on YouTube. He was the YouTube champion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody used to go to YouTube just to watch Kimbo Slice fights. And they had recorded it with they recorded it with one of them phones that they be recording the aliens with, because it was so digitized and pixelated. But you could tell that it was Kimbo Slice, because only Kimbo Slice had that bald head and that long beard. Like Kimbo Slice had a type of Kimbo Slice had a type of balding that, as bad as the graphics were on the camera, you could still tell that it was him. You might not have been able to distinguish the face, you know what I'm saying? But because his balding was so unique and pronounced, you knew that was Kimbo Slice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they was recording with the Boost mobile. They was recording with the Boost mobile cameras, recording with the Nextels. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I agree. He was old when he got into UFC, when he finally was able to get into the UFC. And one of the reasons why he didn't get into the UFC was because of Dana White. Dana White was actually on a campaign to block out Kimbo Slice from being in the UFC. Dana White actually is on record saying he'll never be in the UFC. And he actually allowed him to be on the Ultimate Fighter, because he thought that he was just going, embarrass himself and all this. You know what I'm saying? Dana White was hating on him. Now, mind you, Kimbo was a cool dude. Like, he wasn't the type of cat that, like, you look at him and see him in these fights, and he got a real tough looking appearance. But Kimbo was a cool, quiet, humble, well-mannered, like mild mannered dude. He wasn't really like on no cocky stuff. He never said like, I'm gonna get in the UFC and beat everybody down. Like, he didn't say none of that. He just wanted to be in the UFC to compete. He wanted to actually officially compete, because that was his life dream. It didn't have nothing to do with like no cockiness or anything like that. Dana White made it all about that. Black Lightning said, didn't he fight against Brock Lesnar? Nah, I don't think he fought Brock Lesnar. Nah, I don't think that. Thank goodness. I don't think he fought Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? Brock Lesnar was one of the least skilled, most dangerous MMA fighters that have ever been in MMA. Like, when it come to Brock Lesnar and his run in the UFC is a perfect example of sometimes people are just too big. You know what I'm saying? And when I say sometimes people are just too big, you could have all the fighting skills in the world, but sometimes the laws of physics just prevail. That was Brock Lesnar's entire career until, you know what I'm saying, like he actually started learning, like, you know, certain little tactics and stuff like that. His very first match in the UFC, when he fought against Frank Mir, even though Brock Lesnar lost that match against Frank Mir, man, you already knew. You already knew what time it was about to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was trash. You know what I'm saying? But he was big though. You know what I'm saying? And the big the his size is what saved him from being trash. But even when he got like, the only way he was able to get beat was he got beat by people that was about the same, like that was able to withstand his raw strength and had skill. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to remember who was it that beat him to take the title. Who beat Brock Lesnar? Was it Cain Velasquez? I think it was Cain Velasquez. It was either Cain Velasquez or Junior Dos Santos. One of the two. But in back then, the heavyweight division was crazy, man. Listen, man. The heavyweight division back then was wild. Yeah, I remember when the UFC didn't have a weight class either. It was some viral UFC videos that's probably banned on YouTube now. You remember when that black dude was wearing the gi and he got old boy in the crucifix and just elbowed him and like elbow submitted him, like knocked him out with the side elbows to the head? Vitor Belfort used to wear Vitor Belfort used to wear the wrestling shoes. Oh, it's Cain Velasquez? Okay, yeah. How many people, actually did a video, how many people heard about Cain Velasquez, man? I used to tell people back in the day, yo, Cain Velasquez, you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of thuggish, man. Like if he wasn't in the UFC, he'd be out banging somewhere. You know what I'm saying? With some West Coast or some Southwest gang, some Latino gang. You know what I'm saying? And people was like, you know, nah, he ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Alistair Overeem, yeah, man. Alistair Overeem is another monster, man. Like that's another dude that is like way. Alistair Overeem is one of the few people that actually makes Brock Lesnar look kind of small. Alistair Overeem is crazy big. Like Alistair Overeem, the type of person like you'd be like, I don't even know if these bullets might stop him. You know what I'm saying? All them UFC people are thugs, man. Alistair Overeem and his brother, from what I understand, they got into some type of shit in Holland. What's his name? Conor McGregor, stupid ass, always getting into trouble. But one thing that people forget, like Alistair Overeem, he'd been around for a while though. He used to fight in Pride. If I'm not mistaken, I think Chuck Liddell actually knocked Alistair Overeem out when he was younger. When he was a light heavyweight. Now I've been stopped. Bro, but you believe it or not, bro, I don't even watch UFC no more. I don't mess with it, man. I couldn't tell you anybody that was in the UFC. Right now, except for John Jones. and Stipe Miocic. Them the only two people that I could tell you about in the UFC. I can't tell you about nobody else. Yeah, Cain Velasquez, you talking about? He shot. Well, they said that Predator in San Jose that he shot at, I guess his family thought that Predator was doing something to like his niece or something like that. I wasn't a big fan of Nick Diaz. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really a big fan of Nick Diaz, but I did like Nate Diaz though. I think Nate Diaz kind of got. I think he should have got some title shots at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? And they like that. The UFC, the ranking system with the UFC is some nonsense because it's only about. At least it used to be. I don't know if they changed it, but it used to only be about how Dana White would decide if you got a title shot. Like if you like, to me, Dan Henderson should have got like six title shots. You know what I'm saying? He should have got 3 title shots at light heavyweight, and I think he did get 1 title. No, he didn't get. Did he get? Yeah, he did get a title shot at middleweight, but he should have got some more title shots at middleweight. You know what I'm saying? Dan Henderson was one of the UFC fighters that I used to like. It's wild how different people are built. Like Randy Couture, I forget who. I think it was Target that just had mentioned Randy Couture earlier. You could tell Randy Couture was aging. You know what I'm saying? How he was losing his fights. You know what I'm saying? Dan Henderson like never really like aged, which was wild. Dan Henderson, for the most part, he didn't really ever get knocked out like that. He had the same amount of competitiveness and athleticism. Dan Henderson is one of them people. To me, that's one of them. Is like the Allen Iverson type cat of the UFC. He one of them people that should have a title, but just never in the UFC, but never got the title. You know what I'm saying? What's the guy's name? The last name Coleman that looked like one of them people off of No Country for Old Men. What was the old boy name? Was it like Dennis Coleman or something like that? Ken Shamrock, Tank Abbott, the Gracie brothers, and that sumo wrestler. Who you talking about? E Honda. E Honda. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you never seen Alistair Overeem, Black Lightning? He's a Dutch dude. He's a Dutch black guy. That's like physical perfection. You know what I'm saying? You know who I didn't like? Man, I didn't like George St. Pierre. But George St. Pierre had skills, though. I just didn't like George St. Pierre figure. I respect George St. Pierre for the grift because George St. Pierre was an MMA grifter. You know what I'm saying? But his fights was irritating. And I was mad that he was ducking Anderson Silva for a long time, too. I think Anderson Silva would have knocked his ass out for real. And Anderson Silva would have had he would have had the 170-pound. Anderson Silva could have had 3 belts all at one time. He could have had 170, he could have had 205, and he could have had 180. You know what I'm saying? Middleweight, welterweight, and heavyweight, the light heavyweight belt. Because Anderson Silva could have knocked out anybody at light heavyweight, anybody. You know what I'm saying? He did have a 180, you know what I'm saying, a middleweight belt. And he would have knocked out George St. Pierre. Facts. AB Promotion said Dana White is a wife beater, and he had no hair on his face. That's facts. Man, I remember when George St. Pierre got knocked out by Matt Serra. Man, that shit was funny as hell. He ain't know what happened, man. He got busted upside his head. Oh man, he was big mad. You know what I'm saying? Keith Hackney was the black sumo wrestler who fought in MMA in the 1980s. Oh, okay, all right, that's what's up. I was happy when Holly Holmes knocked out Ronda Rousey, man. I was so happy, man. I can't stand Ronda Rousey, man. Man, Holly Holmes, when she knocked her out, man, I was so happy. Man, I was so happy. I can't stand none of them fighters that Dana White just shows blatant favoritism to, and then they become cocky and arrogant off of it, like they just do whatever. Like Conor McGregor, you know what I'm saying? Ronda Rousey was another one. Man, Holly Holmes ended her career. Like, she broke her spirit with that head kick. It was done. You know what I'm saying? Rudy Ray, shout out to my man Rudy Ray. Rudy Ray said Ronda said she can beat up Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, she need to beat up Holly Holmes first. Toria said, according to Ronda, you two may be related based on her ancestry. Oh God. Oh God. She was she was ready to self-delete. Listen, man, I told everybody, like, oh man, see, I swear I wish back then I was gambling and they had like DraftKings and all that. I told everybody Holly Holmes was gonna whoop her ass. You know who disappointed, and rest in peace to this person who disappointed me with their MMA career. Man, I wanted to see Anthony Rumble Johnson. I wanted to see him get a belt either at 170 or 180 or 205, and he got real close at 205 but wasn't able to do it. Man, there was no decision, no question when Holly Holmes whooped that ass. It was a kick to the head, and Ronda Rousey had to get reminded where she was at. You know what I'm saying? That was that. That was it. You know what I'm saying? That was that. Who else was good? And you know who I didn't like, but I can't take it away from them that they had heart. Do y'all remember Frankie Edgar? If y'all remember Frankie Edgar, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, give me a thumbs down. Frankie Edgar was a Jersey boy looking motherfucker. He used to look like Ben Shapiro, but like an MMA fighter. I used to couldn't stand his ass, but that was a tough little motherfucker, man. He could take the worst ass whooping ever, and he was not giving up. He was going to beat you into a decision somehow. People be busting him all upside his head, kicking him, throwing him around the ring. That motherfucker get right back up. Yeah, Rumble Johnson was underrated. but I think with I think what Rumble Johnson's problem was, I think that Rumble Johnson should have just fought at heavyweight. And what he should have tried to do is he should have tried to like maximize his muscle mass with his athleticism instead of trying to lose weight to go down to those lower divisions. Because a lot of times with Rumble Johnson, what would happen is he would have the same problem that Vitor Belfort would have. He would come out real explosive, and all you had to do was just wait. And once he got tired, then you could either choke him out or knock him out, which I don't think he got knocked out too often. So usually a lot of times he got submitted. young Nine said, I remember someone kicked Edgar in the face hella hard. Who was it? Man, who remember? Speaking of head kicks, Man, who remember when Gabriel Gonzaga damn near kicked Mirko Krokop's head off and his leg was twisted like when that dude tried to get up on stage with Dave Chappelle and they whooped his ass and his arm was all twisted around. But Mirko Krokop's leg was looking like that. Y'all remember that? I think that might be one of like the worst head kicks in MMA history. And you ain't never hear from Gabriel Gonzaga after that ever again. Like he never did anything highlight worthy in his career ever again after that. But that shit right there landed him in the in the highlight reel Hall of Fame. You know who else was a good fighter that kind of just never really got like the shine that they should have got? How many of y'all remember Melvin Gillard? I can't stand Chael Sonnen, man. Every time he got his ass whooped, I was happy about that shit. I was so happy when Anderson Silva beat his ass. Chael Sonnen need to just hook up a StreamYards account and talk nonsense on Rumble. He'll make more money than he ever did in the MMA. All those idiots over on Rumble waiting to get gaslit by somebody like Chael Sonnen, man, he had mountains of money. You know what I'm saying? Chael Sonnen was a complete idiot. And one way that you know that he was a complete idiot was that he thought that he was going to beat Anderson Silva. Oh man, Anderson Silva's head is the size of freaking it's the size of that ball at the Epcot Center, you know what I'm saying, in Florida. Yeah, Melvin Gillard was a lightweight. He was a lightweight, I think 155, but dude was built. You know what I'm saying? Like just naturally built, like one of them people that's just naturally chiseled. Like you could tell he the type of cat that like has a bodybuilder body just from doing 10 push-ups a day. That type of like natural shit. You know what I'm saying? And he used to knock people out, man. He TKO'd somebody with a body shot this one time, man. That shit was crazy. Like this dude just froze in the middle of in the middle of the ring. Amanda Nunes. I ain't really pay attention to the female MMA fighters. I used to follow Jessica I, you know what I'm saying, because Jessica I was from the area that I'm from. You know what I'm saying? And she knew people that I knew. But aside from Jessica I though, and when she went to the UFC, she didn't do real well in the UFC. She used to be a beast in amateur though. But then I don't know, man. Sometimes that shit don't translate to when you were a beast in amateur and then you go to the pros. I thought that when she got to the UFC, she was gonna be like ridiculous, but you know what I'm saying, it didn't work out like that. But she actually used to practice. She used to actually train at the same gym that Stipe Miocic trained at. You know what I'm saying? How many people remember the WEC? If y'all remember the WEC, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't, give me a thumbs down. I think you know what? I'm about to actually I think I'm about to actually do something. I'm about to actually design some shit later on tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to actually design some shit later on tonight. All right, but anyway, let's get back to this and then we'll be done. So the Army Reserve flagged concerns over the summer about Card during training in New York, with personnel who evaluated him saying he wanted to shoot up an Army facility in Maine. So now let me ask you guys this question right here, man. They already had concerns with this dude saying that he wanted to shoot up the Army facility. So now, again, this is the question that we asked when this first took place. If they knew all of this, why didn't they do anything about it? Make it make sense. Why didn't they do anything about this? You know what I'm saying? They had all of the means and chose not to. Card was also look at this. Card was also recommended not to be handed any firearms. Now, how many people knew about that? If you guys knew about that, give me a thumbs up. If y'all didn't know about that, then give me a thumbs down. Despite these warning signs and others, there was no attempt to trigger the crisis intervention laws in New York or Maine, the senator wrote in a letter. So now let me ask you guys a question. Who's accountable for dropping the ball on this situation? Who's accountable for dropping the ball on this situation? New York has a red flag law that allows a court to temporarily remove a firearm from an individual who may be a threat to themselves or others. Let me ask you guys this very simple question. Based on what we read just in this article, and mind you, the only information that we have is the information that's available in this article. We don't have any more information other than that. From what we know from this article, would you all classify Robert Card as a threat prior to this Maine shooting? If you would, give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you wouldn't, give me a thumbs down. Maine has a yellow flag law which requires petitioners to notify law enforcement first of threatening individuals who may then be a subject to a mental health evaluation, which, I mean, again, clearly there was plenty of signs, you know what I'm saying? Plenty of signs that this individual was absolutely a threat. So now we got to ask the question, what happened? Let me know in the comment section what it is that you all think happened. All right. Shout out to everybody that's here. Make sure you guys smash that like button before you get out of here. Don't move a muscle, because this stream will take you into a video that's already planned, and that video will take you to reacts. I want to give a big shout out to my man AB Promotions with the $1.99 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all throw some radiation emoji in the chat and show him some love. And I will see you all momentarily with reacts. All right. Peace.